Have you fallen down the cottage industry rabbit hole yet? Well, if not, buckle up, Alice, and click on over to the description in the show notes and sign up. Then you can get ready for the most fun induction into the cult of all things yarn and fiber. This will include, but not limited to, free yarn, free ebooks, patterns, coupons, and much more. You don't want to miss out.
You are listening to Crime, Coffee, and Crafts, a podcast featuring two crafty besties who love true crime and a good cup of joe.
Hey, amateur sleuths. I'm Kristen.
And I'm Heidi.
Welcome back to another episode.
Welcome.
Crime, Coffee, and Crafts.
Seriously, it's perfect. I love it. Love it.
How we doing?
I'm crocheting. It's good.
So you're good. Because you're crocheting.
Working on a sweater, even though it's, summer. But, I need it to be ready for winter, right? So, there's that.
Yeah.
How's it going over there?
Oh, it's good. I'm trying to pick out a couple of horror trivia for you.
Oh yes, I get so excited every time you do that because I forgot. And I'm wearing my horror movie shirt today.
I know, so it's perfect.
Wasn't the last episode because we're recording two this way.
And for the first time, I didn't change my shirt.
I know, Kristen didn't change her shirt.
I just love this one so much.
It is a really good shirt. I almost wore it today, but then I was like, I haven't worn my horror movie one. It was at the back of the drawer. That was the problem.
Oh, yeah.
It was all the way in the back. Can't have that happen again.
Yeah, you can't. I always forget I have things if they're not in front of my face.
Well, yeah.
Those for people too.
Same.
Part of my condition. I forget people.
Yeah.
It's sad.
If you're not here, it's out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah.
But yeah, speaking of shirts being at the back of the drawer, though, I was just talking to my mom this week about cleaning out drawers and stuff. She was cleaning out her clothes.
Right.
She was like getting rid of stuff. And I was like, I need to do that again. It's time.
Yeah.
It's time.
I don't have a lot of personal clothes, so
yeah.
I'm not gonna do any of that until I lose
so you get
significant amount of weight. Yeah.
And then you're just still gonna wear your t-shirts because they're fucking awesome.
Yes. I might have to get new pants, but
that's okay.
That's cool. I only have two pairs that I wear. I wear my black jeans and my regular jeans. And that's it.
Other than that, for me, it's leggings life.
Oh, yeah. I am in these, you can't tell, but I have these, I call them my MC Hammer parachute pants.
Joggers?
They're really thin and loose, but they're white and black tie-dye.
Nice. Oh, wait, I'm wearing joggers like that.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. They're black, white, and blue. Nice, dude. Okay, there's my pant leg.
Ooh. I love it. Love. On today's episode, I am drinking Bones coffee.
Which one is it?
This one is the maple bacon.
Yum.
It smells divine.
So good.
And what really helped it is that David made bacon and egg. Well, I made the eggs. They didn't come out great. I don't know, the pan or something, but he made bacon. So we have that bacon smell in the house.
Oh,
So it just accentuates the coffee.
So good.
I love it.
So good. I made Ben
So-
a maple bacon birthday cake once.
Oh, wow.
And people were like, that's so gross, blah, blah, blah. And then they tasted it and they were like, oh my God.
No, that sounds amazing.
Okay, so I used bacon grease in the frosting.
Nice.
So it was to die for.
Yeah, I bet. Sounds lovely.
Don't ever shun maple and bacon, people.
No. It's delicious.
It is.
It's trying to put my
You're trying to press
R2D2
your
down. It gets difficult there at the end.
Don't press it too hard.
It gets difficult at the end.
I've met some of those
Yeah,
like
you don't
bodybuilder
wanna
guys.
Shoot it out.
The bodybuilders would be like, I shattered my French press. Well, show me what you did. They put a little too much force on it.
I am one with the force. The force is with me.
Exactly. Don't explode your coffee press.
Yeah. So coffee is delicious. Art. Well, I will say I was revamping our artwork for merchandise.
Yes.
So I was working on coloration of things, and then I also did another one that was our skull with crochet hook and a paintbrush. And hopefully soon
Love
we
it.
will have those designs out and ready for everyone. And in the meantime, I also had this cute little painting.
Oh, I love
My little cacti.
little cacti. Look, wrap the edges, people. Wrap the
Wrap
edges.
the edges with your paint. But as you know, us being from the desert, yeah, we really like cacti. Except I didn't like them most of my life because I'll tell you a little story. When I was sick, I was 5. I think I was 5 years old. It was my mom, Nathaniel, and I still. It was before Daw and Ryan, and I was riding my bike outside of our house that we were at, and I missed the turn. So the house it's facing the street, right? So I was going this way, and there was a cactus right here. So I missed that turn and I went right into it.
Oh, geez.
And it was one of these.
Very spiky ones.
Very small needles. And I have the memory of sitting in the sink. My mom went to the store to get tweezers. The neighbor friend stayed with me.
Oh my
and
gosh.
I just remember screaming because all these needles were in my body, in my little tiny 5-year-old body.
This was not how Kristen had envisioned her first acupuncture appointment to be.
No. And so my grandpa Carnahan came over right away later that day, and he chopped down that cactus and he got rid of it.
Yeah. It's like a little dangerous, you know. You know what's funny is I like cactus from afar.
Yeah.
I do not have any.
Mm-hmm.
My sister does. But nope, that's because they're easy to care for.
Yeah. I have an aloe vera plant.
I do too, but that doesn't have spikes.
No.
Not giant needles coming out of it.
Right. And I enjoy the look of cactus, but I really can't be near it.
No thanks.
It gives me PTSD.
I'll stick with my spider plants.
I have a really cool snake plant.
Me too.
And it's growing so nicely in my house.
Me too.
It's gotten really tall and big. I love it.
Oh, how tall is it? It's very exciting. Mine's still.
I'll have to measure it when I go back home.
Mine's little, but I keep it in a small pot because I don't want it to get too big.
Yeah. understandable.
Yeah.
So we digress. So cute little cacti
I like it.
painting. I love it. It's cute. It is available for sale.
Yeah. Just email me.
Yeah. Like all my art.
Yeah. All our information is in the description, just FYI, if you don't already know this. If you do want to reach out, if you have stories, whatever, want to buy some art from Kristen, email us at the email that's in the description.
Please. And thank you.
Please. All right.
Okay. I'm not sure if you remember this one or not. What sci-fi horror film does a black hole unleash its evil upon the actors Lawrence Fishburne and Sam Neill? It was in the 80s.
Black hole?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Event Horizon.
I don't think I've ever actually seen it.
I didn't think you had. I was curious though.
I'm a weirdo, and
it's a weird movie.
Specific about some of these movies that came out back then. I just can't.
Yeah.
I can't sit through them.
I'm pretty sure you'll get this one. Who is also known as Mistress of the Dog?
Elvira.
Mm-hmm.
She's fucking amazing. Amazing.
Yep. In the movie Aliens, why did Ripley not want to bring Bishop on the mission? You remember who Bishop was?
No. Was it because she's the woman? I don't know.
No, Ripley is the woman.
I don't know. It's been years.
Bishop was the android.
Okay.
And she didn't want him on there because he was an android.
Oh.
Because in the previous, yeah.
All right.
It's the whole storyline.
I haven't seen any of that since probably it came out. So.
It's a long time. You might want to get back on it. They're good movies.
40 now, y'all.
She turned 40.
I know, I turned 40. Now Ben is 40 too.
I know.
He's caught up. He leveled up with us finally. So that's exciting.
Yeah, David has a few years.
Really?
He'll be 37.
Oh, he's just a baby.
Yeah.
That's awesome. A younger man. Sorry.
One more question.
Okay.
Name the movie with the tagline, "In space, no one can eat ice cream."
With the tagline? Oh, I don't know. I would say Spaceballs, but I don't know for sure.
It's not a scary movie.
That's true. Hold on. No one can eat ice cream. And it's a horror movie. That's where I forgot. I was just thinking movies in general. When was the movie made?
It was an 80s movie.
Huh. I don't know.
Killer Clowns from
Was it
Outer
really?
Space.
Why did I place Killer Clowns from earlier? For some reason. I was about to say it too. I should have just said it. Fuck. I don't know. Okay, so I haven't seen that since I was like this big. So
yeah, I watched it in this year.
I need to watch that.
It's such a weird movie. Anywho,
yeah.
So that's that.
Word. I like this horror movie trivia, even though I forgot it was horror movies specifically.
Yeah,
huge dork sometimes, but
that's okay.
It's besides the point.
We like other genres, just horrors are more favored.
Yes. She's got her shades on.
Yeah. I'm gonna read my notes.
Word.
Trigger warnings. Are you ready?
I'm nervous.
It's weird.
They're weird trigger warnings.
Weird trigger warnings. I am going to talk about taxidermy and some of the graphic details of how you do taxidermy.
Okay, I'm super excited about that.
There's sexual assault,
Not
murder
excited.
murder by gunshot and stabbing, and eye removal.
Okay, so if you have eyeball issues, like maybe don't
This
listen
is
to this
probably
episode.
not the one because it's called the eyeball killer.
Sorry, the name is name's funny, but
Yes.
yikes.
Yeah.
Yikes. Okay, side note real quick. Ben's best
Mhm.
friend Jason texted me yesterday that he found me a present yesterday while he was out fishing with his daughter.
Yeah.
And it was a new skull.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you know what kind?
Looks like it was a buck at one point,
Oh, okay.
but it's just got tiny spikes.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's been sitting outside for a long time, so it's really
Fragile.
old. But
Yeah.
I'm excited.
That's cool. That's
Yeah.
awesome. I have a doe.
Oh,
So-
fantastic. They could be friends. I have several does I need to dig up. They're in the backyard.
Yeah, I
Oh.
know.
And same friends, the other day we were at their house celebrating Ben's birthday.
Mm-hmm.
And his daughter's like, "Do you have a squirrel skull?" And I was like, "No." She's like, "Hold please." She went and got a Ziploc bag and went and picked it up out of the front yard for me. They saved it for me.
Nice. I love that. I love that.
So yeah, I got my squirrel. Still got the teeth.
Nice.
Creepy. Okay, that was
I love it.
my last side note there for now.
So my sources are Texas Monthly, Delaney Bartlett, medium.com,
Oh.
and opera.news.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't even use any of our normal stuff because. So just before we get into this one was really hard to like pinpoint because all the stories had differing information.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna do my best. Like dates were differing, ages were differing. So
Interesting.
if there's something that comes up that I said wrong or whatever, don't shoot me. Just know that I did my best to really figure out exactly.
If the sources have it wrong, that's not on you.
Yeah. So the title alone should be a trigger warning.
For real, dude.
I mean, that's what a name for a murderer, am I right?
For real.
What is weird is the killer's name was kind of generic. So I don't know if you remember, but I had to ask you last weekend if we had covered him or not.
And I was like,
but then we were like, wait, the title alone should have made us
remember
that we
that.
had covered it. So I went ahead and covered it. And so this guy had a real heart on for sex workers.
Oh boy.
Yeah. And in the early 90s, he terrorized the streets of Dallas, Texas because of how the bodies were left and what was being done. Jeez. So Mr. Charles Albright was born in Amarillo, Texas in 1933.
That's a hell of a name.
He wasn't born Charles Albright because he was adopted at a couple weeks old.
Okay.
And he was adopted by Fred and Della Albright.
I like that last name.
Albright?
Yeah.
It sounds like it would be a nice, cheery, good name.
Yeah. But it's not.
It's not. It belongs to a shitbag.
Yeah. You don't really like shitbags.
Hey, that reminds me. Maybe we should make a sticker. Maybe I should do a shitbag sticker because we do say that a lot.
Talk about this for sure.
Yeah. Put it in your memory bank.
Okay.
So Fred and Della, it might just be Dell, but it's Delle is the mom's name.
I mean, it could be Dell.
I don't know.
Maybe maybe her name's actually Adele, but goes by Dell.
But they put it legally as Delle. So, but anyways, they were a middle-class family, and back then a middle-class family could, do a lot with their money.
Right.
Nowadays, middle class is poor. His dad, Fred, was a grocer, and his mom was a teacher. The trouble came with Della mostly because she was strict and a helicopter parent. At some points, I don't know if it was as punishment or what, but she would dress Charles in girls' clothing. And as we know, when moms do these things, they somehow create serial killers.
Yeah.
Several serial killers that we've covered already.
Yeah.
Their mothers would dress them in girls' clothing.
Yeah.
As a way to it's punish or
punishment,
patronize or I don't know.
That's so fucked up.
She also, apparently he would be all over the place and too much for her to handle. So when she needed a break, she would tie him to his bed.
What the fuck?
Yeah, she would restrain him to his bed as punishment as well. I
hate this woman.
Yeah.
And her probably Texas hair.
I sent our drive a picture.
Oh, I'm going to look at this.
They actually look like normal
Texas.
I think it was like in the 30s when he was born in 1933. So the picture of them as a family is 1937 or something. He's like a little 3 or 4-year-old boy, I think.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Texas didn't have big hair yet.
Mm-mm.
No, she had a finger wave.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I know. That's why when I saw the picture of the family, I was like, oh.
Nobody's smiling.
They look
though.
nice. I don't think you smiled back then.
They look cold.
Yeah. I think that's how people took photos back then.
How sad.
Yeah. In high school, when Charles began dating, his mother would always drive and chaperone him on dates.
Oh boy.
So that's quite controlling if you ask me.
Yeah.
And this is just like a history. I'm going to get more into Charles's history from childhood on, but this is just more like the mom and what she would do.
Okay.
So Charles's mother, she was also very fearful of dirt and obsessed with being clean, as well as her other controlling issues. And I don't know if it's because like they had to adopt to have a child. So maybe she finally got the child she had trouble having, like she probably couldn't have kids.
Right.
And so she like was holding on to this child for dear life and making sure that everything went right to keep him safe.
Maybe.
But it's a messed up way.
It seems like there's more to it.
Yeah. So Charles had to change his clothes several times a day to make sure he wasn't dirty.
Okay, people. Let your kids get dirty.
Dirt is okay. Dirt is healthy. It helps our immune systems. I am obsessed with washing my hands.
I know you are obsessed with washing your hands and keeping things neat, but you also allow your children
they can
to play
whatever.
And be children.
Yeah.
One of my favorite pictures of my sister and my brother when they were little is we were camping. They had been blowing bubbles, so they had like bubble residue everywhere. dirt caked on. It is
Yeah.
the cutest picture I've ever seen in my life. I freaking love it.
Yeah. No.
Dirt's the best.
He was also only allowed to drink goat's milk from their actual goats on the property. She didn't trust store-bought or other people milk. It had to be milk from her yard
Okay.
and her goats.
I mean, I could kind of understand that knowing what I know now, but.
Well, yeah, but she was at that time, she was just obsessed with contamination,
right,
and didn't want him to get the contamination from other sources.
So scary.
His mother also had a strange belief that the polio virus lived in dog feces, and to keep him from touching it as a child. I don't know why. I don't ever remember anyone being like, let me go touch this poop that's in the yard. I mean, maybe a 1 or 2 year old, because they don't know.
A baby
and they're
that's
just
crawling.
curious. Right.
Yeah.
But this boy, I'm pretty sure, was not a 1 or 2 year old being taken. She would take him to the polio unit in the hospital to look at the people with their iron lungs to make sure that he had a fear of dog poop.
I mean, Giardia, maybe, but
right.
not
what dog poop are we around? Like they had goats.
That's interesting.
Right? It's weird. So this is just to give you an idea of what kind of weirdness he grew up with, you know.
She's got some stuff going on in her brain.
Yeah. Also during Charles's childhood, he started killing small animals.
Oh, fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And as we know, most serial killers killed and tortured small animals as children.
Yeah.
So instead of working through this treatment of animals, his mother, when she had caught him one day killing animals, she thought to figure out a way for him to understand it was not a good thing, she enrolled him in taxidermy class at age 11. So I don't think that think going from killing animals to taxidermy is a way to
That's not going to help.
Killing animals.
That's going to make him do it more.
Right. He's going to need dead animals to perform taxidermy on.
Also, where do I sign up to take a taxidermy course?
Well, this class, when he was 11 in 1944, was a mail order class.
Shut up.
Yes.
Okay.
It was taught by Professor J.W. Elwood at the Northwestern School of Taxidermy.
This story is already wild and we're barely into it.
And it gets so much better.
Oh God.
But worse. Worse.
Better worse.
So you are beginning to learn an art that is second only to painting and sculpturing.
Oh.
Professor Elwood wrote in the first book of lessons Charles received.
Right.
He also said a true taxidermist must be an artist.
Kristen, you would be really good at that.
I probably would be, but I don't know. I think like collecting skulls and stuff is good enough for me in my, because I'm more fascinated with osteology, which is the study of bones, versus like dead things.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
No, I get it for sure.
So Charles and his mother did the classes together.
Oh boy.
They would sit and work on dead birds.
Okay.
Yeah. His mother showed him how to use the tools necessary for taxidermy. They would use a knife to cut the skull, a little spoon for scooping out brains, a scalpel for cutting the eyes from the eye sockets, and forceps for pulling the eyes from the sockets. Yeah. Charles said his mother even skinned their first bird as to show him not to cut into the bird too deep. So
Mommy's got issues.
Yeah, I really do think so. Charles spent hours upon hours working on his taxidermy craft. Like, he would go to school and come home and just taxidermy dead things. Well, mostly birds.
Yeah.
He wanted them to look as lifelike as possible and loved how fake eyes looked, but his mother wouldn't let him get eyes. Instead, she would sew them up. She would sew the eye holes up, the sockets, and attach buttons for the eyes.
Okay, that's so fucking creepy.
Right. So as I read this during my research, I thought of that movie Coraline, where the other mother had button eyes.
I wonder, did they know about this?
Did they? I wonder.
When they got the idea.
But this is even creepier because all these little stuffed birds had button eyes, and they put them in this like a curio cabinet, and they had it in the hallway. So guests would come over to the house and admire the works of art that little Charles did. But they would see these really beautiful birds because they were pretty birds, and then they had creepy button eyes.
I mean, I just don't even know. That is so creepy.
Yeah.
If I saw that, I'd be like, bye. Get the fuck out. Get the fuck out. Get the fuck out.
Like, what in the world?
This is a serial killer's house.
With a mother who's helping him.
Yeah, I have a skull collection too. Like,
and the dad was like, they never say anything really about his dad. Like, he just was a grocer, and I feel like he had no say in anything that went on. And
seems like she was the, strong arm in the house.
It seems that way.
She made all the rules.
Yeah. So needless to say, he'd had a very interesting childhood with a very odd mother. But her being a teacher, she worked with Charles at home on his schoolwork.
Okay.
So much so that he graduated high school early at 15 years old.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So what else do we know about serial killers?
They're intelligent usually.
Yeah.
Like high IQ intelligent.
Yeah.
We're high IQ intelligent. We didn't become serial killers.
When I hear about serial killers, and I'm like, but what was their IQ? They'll be like, got a high IQ. And then they'll be like, it was 125 20 something. And I'm like, that's not even mine.
That's not high enough. We
not
have
even
higher
as high
IQs.
Yeah. Come on. Anyways.
Get out of here. Anyways, we're tooting our own horns.
Yeah.
After he graduated high school, he enrolled into North Texas College.
All right.
But was expelled before the end of his freshman year.
Wonder why?
Because he was the reason for his expulsion was that he was part of a student burglary ring, and was sentenced to a year in prison.
OMG.
Yeah.
And he was young.
Yeah, he was 15.
Impressive.
But I don't know if his immaturity and whatnot got him on this path of like getting in with the older boys and, hey, let's go see if we can sneak in and steal stuff.
Right.
But he did, and he got in trouble. So when he was released, he decided to enroll into a different college. And this was the Arkansas Teachers College. He moved away from Texas and away from his mother because he wanted to get away from her overprotective, controlling ways.
All right.
So he really tried to live a normal college life and a normal just life in general. Mm-hmm. He joined the football team, a fraternity, and was elected president to several clubs on the campus.
Oh my gosh.
But that excelled behavior only lasted a little while because he got bored.
Well, I understand that.
I get it too. He got bored, so he flunked out of his classes.
Been there, done that.
Would act out in many ways and then got a reputation as being a prankster. One of his pranks, one of his friends, a girl broke up with him, and he thought it would be funny to take photos of her and cut the eyes out and plaster them on his friend's ceiling. So when he woke up, her eyes were staring at him. This apparently was funny to him. So yeah, he would do that.
Oh.
Yeah.
For real. That is so creepy.
Yeah. His behavior went right back into crime again as well. And he got caught breaking into a store and stealing a watch. He also got caught at a train station with a suitcase full of school property. So the college kicked him out, and Charles decided that he would just not go back to school ever again. Instead, he broke into a college office and filled out a transcript for himself and took the transcript and used it to get a job teaching biology at a high school in Dallas, and coached football as well. But unfortunately for Charles, his scam was found out and he was fired. He was also charged with fraud and spent a year on probation.
Not enough, that's for sure.
When Charles was in college that second time at the Arkansas Teachers School, he met and married a woman named Betty Nestor. Mm-hmm. They had one child, a girl, and nothing is really said about his kid. And I got differing this is one of the things I got differing information on, because they said he had 2 other children.
Oh.
Like one article said that they had 3 kids, but a lot of what I was reading was just that they had a daughter.
Okay.
And then they divorced in 1974.
Okay.
And that was, she was a teacher, a legitimate teacher, and was bringing home the money. And then he got in trouble again and got fired. So she just couldn't deal.
Understandable.
Yeah, he was an intelligent deadbeat.
So scary.
Charles continued to commit small crimes up until 1981, when he escalated his criminal activity by sexually molesting a 14-year-old daughter of friends while he visited them.
Mm-hmm. Piece of shit.
Yeah. This is his first known act against a violent act. All the other ones were just petty larcenies,
right,
and stealing. And then his fraud with the scam at school.
Yeah.
Charles was arrested and he pled guilty to the charges. This part is going to make you mad. He was only put on probation.
Because he pled guilty. He probably
He pled down.
Yeah. Cut a deal.
Yeah.
Oh.
You would think that he'd get prison time and have a have to register as a sex offender.
That would be nice.
He got probation. And I'm just assuming it's because they got a plea charge.
Yeah. I mean, that's, as a criminal, that's a smart thing to do. But like, from a non-criminal point of view, fuck that guy.
Yeah. Now we're going to fast forward to 1985. Charles met a woman named Dixie Austin.
That's a name.
Now, Charles's father had passed away at this time and left him, I think, 2 or 3 properties. So he lived in one and rented one out.
Oh, that's lucky.
Yeah. So he had a home that was paid off, and Dixie moved in with Charles.
Okay.
So I'm assuming she didn't know he was a deadbeat and wasn't paying bills.
Right.
So she ended up financially supporting them. Well, Charles said he had a job delivering newspapers. He was visiting prostitutes.
Charles has problems.
Mm-hmm. He did have some odd jobs here and there and continued to visit prostitutes while Dixie still lived with him. But in 1990, we escalated our criminal activity even further. And his first known victim was found.
First known victim.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of discrepancies, and a lot of this case was circumstantial, and I'll go into that further.
Okay.
Mary Lou Pratt, a 33-year-old, sometimes written as 35, so somewhere in her early 30s, prostitute, was found on December 13th, 1990. She had been shot in the head and beaten. She was found in the middle of the street in a Dallas rundown suburb, wearing only a t-shirt. Investigators said it was clearly a body dump and not where she was actually murdered.
Mm-hmm.
But this is where it gets weird. Her body at autopsy was found to be missing her eyeballs. So when they found the body, her eyelids were shut. So they didn't realize that she was missing her eyeballs at the time. It wasn't until the autopsy was performed that the doctor was doing her evaluation.
Yeah.
And she opened the eye socket.
And she was like,
there's no eyeball here. And then she opened the other one and she goes, oh, there's no eyeball here.
Yikes, dude. Yikes.
They also reported that they had been surgically removed from the eye sockets.
Somebody knew what they were doing.
Mm-hmm. Due to her line of work, it was exceedingly difficult to find any leads. And so kind of went cold. And then on February 10th, 1991, another sex worker was found near the same area as the first victim.
Okay.
Her name was Susan Beth Peterson. She was a 27-year-old prostitute and had been shot 3 times. And when her body was brought to the morgue, a pathologist found that her eyeballs were missing and cut out in the same precision as the first victim.
Yikes. I can't imagine being that examiner. Like, let's check their eyes. And then like, oh, okay, there aren't any.
Yeah.
Ah.
Mm-hmm.
Gross.
A third victim, Shirley Williams, a 41-year-old prostitute, had been shot in the head and a broken X-Acto knife blade was embedded in her right eye. So maybe Charles got rushed or distracted because the eyes were not removed as clean as the other two victims.
Yeah.
And he left behind a blade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
X-Acto knives are fucking sharp.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You ever cut yourself with one of those fucking things?
I have.
On accident. Yeah, that shit hurts.
They're not fun.
Yeah.
Police started interviewing the regular sex workers in an area of Oak Cliff, as the murdered victims had been known to work that area. So they all came from the same area. And they spoke with one particular woman named Veronica Rodriguez, who claimed to have been raped and nearly killed by a white man near where Mary Lou, the first victim, had been found.
Okay.
Victoria claims she ran to the house of a man named Axton Schindler. And yeah. And he was renting his house from none other than Charles Albright.
OMG.
He had inherited that house from his father. Fred.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a tip also came in from a woman who claimed her friend Mary Pratt, the first victim, dated a man who had been obsessed with eyes and had a lot of X-Acto blades and knives.
All right.
So all of these little tips combined brought them to bring Charles Albright in on March 22nd, 1991. He had been arrested and charged with the 3 counts of murder.
Okay.
Which this gets a little maddening. So prosecutors had extraordinarily little evidence, and they had a challenging time proving their case for all 3 deaths.
Okay.
Unfortunately, they had to dismiss the first 2 murders, but they had enough evidence to prove he murdered Shirley Williams. Probably comes back to the X-Acto, the evidence left behind, which is the blade in her eye. Luckily, even though they could not prove he murdered the first 2 victims, he was sentenced to life in prison for Shirley Williams, his 3rd victim.
Well, that's good.
Yes. But still. And because he had been with prostitutes for years, I feel like he didn't just do 3 murders. And I feel like there's other...
Their bodies just weren't found.
There have to be other bodies out there that he never... So, so the judge had him incarcerated at the John Montford Psychiatric Unit in Lubbock, Texas. And it is also believed that he was to blame for a cold case in 1988. The victim was a prostitute named Rhonda Bowie. She had been stabbed to death and her eyes were not removed, but small circumstantial evidence points to Charles.
Okay.
So 1988 might have been his first actual victim, but he hadn't quite figured out that he wanted to collect eyeballs yet.
Yeah, yikes.
Mm-hmm.
So gross.
So at this time, especially with the prostitutes, a lot of people were freaked out because there was this random serial killer.
Right. Well,
with all these bodies.
They're already, their lives are already at risk anyway.
Yeah, because of the line of work they do.
You just never know who you're going to fucking run into. And, their friends, are
who your John is going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I think what really affected the prosecutor's case was the prostitutes that came forward with tips. They didn't want to testify.
That sucks.
Yeah.
But I mean, I get it. But that does suck.
Yeah.
Circumstantial cases are really fucking hard, though.
They are really difficult. And when they went to his house, they did collect a lot. They did find a lot of X-Acto knives and taxidermy equipment. And
where are the eyeballs?
I did not find. I know. I would love to know.
What was
where did they go
with them? Yeah.
I could not find that information.
Also,
I don't know if he just
there's
them or
there's an episode of CSI totally based on this. Story.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah,
I'm sure
he was using the eyeballs for his taxidermy. For sure.
Oh, maybe he took
in this case from CSI.
But that could be.
He was using eyeballs from humans. In his taxidermied roadkill animals he would pick up.
If anyone knows or can find out that information,
if anybody's got like some hookups, if there is more information that we don't have access to, that'd be really cool.
Yeah. So anyways, Charles died age 87 in August 22nd, 2020. So maybe it was COVID.
I hope it was. And I hope that he had it really bad. How's that?
He did die in a hospital. He didn't just die in like his cell or anything. He died at a hospital. So
yeah.
That is the unfortunate case of the eyeball killer.
Gross.
I know,
like really gross. But also the name is just like, it's like funny, but also I think what's funny about the name is you think like, is he killing eyeballs?
Right.
But no, he's taking them.
Surgically removing them because his mother put him in a taxidermy class.
And made him.
He learned how to remove eyeballs.
Yeah.
And he had this weird fascination with eyeballs. And I think it comes down to her not allowing him to have taxidermy eyes.
Yeah.
With birds.
Yes.
He had to have buttons.
Yes.
Creepy little button eyes.
Oh, God. So, can you imagine being his friend, waking up and like seeing the eyes pasted to the ceiling?
From your ex-girlfriend who just dumped you? Yeah.
So fucking creepy, dude.
Mm-mm.
Yikes.
No, thank you.
No. If you have a friend like that, don't be friends with that.
You might want to check into their toxic behavior.
Yeah. Look into this further and not be friends with them.
It's probably a red flag.
Probably.
So that's all I got.
Oof. Okay. All right. Well, check out the merch. Pretty please. Join Patreon. Pretty please.
Subscribe, like, and share.
That too. Tell your friends. Tell your family. But, maybe give them a trigger warning.
Yeah, we're not for children or anyone easily deterred by language or graphic material.
Yeah. No, definitely unfiltered.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, until next time, ta-ta.
For now.
Thanks for listening to Crime, Coffee, and Crafts. If you love our podcast, please rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. This helps us more than you know. If you really love us and want to support us, go to our website at www.crimecoffeeandcrafts.com. From there, you can join our Patreon, shop our merch, and find us on social media.